The bustling area of Old Town San Diego, look at this street. Even if we get possessed tonight, we could have a nice brewski after.
Yeah. And we will.
I'm just trying to distract myself.
No, we have to go in.
Okay. You do the honors.
Okay. After you?
You go first.
Okay.
Oh, this is pleasant. You could feel the history coming from the walls in here.
Yeah, isn't that wonderful?
Not when the history fights back. Since being built, the Whaley House has been used as many things, including a court. You do the honors.
Okay. After you?
You go first.
Okay.
Room and San Diego's first commercial theater, both of which still remain in the house today. But its most famous use was as the home of Thomas and Anna Whaley and their children, who moved in and out of the house throughout the late 1800s and early to mid 1900s.
Peak ghost time. 90% of ghosts are from that era.
Yeah, that's true. You never really hear about a ghost from 2010 or so that's wearing like a flannel and ripped jeans or some shit like that. It's always somebody wearing a bonnet. Thomas and Anna Whaley had 3 children within the first few years of living at the Whaley house: Francis Hinton, Thomas Jr., and Anna Amelia. Thomas Jr. tragically died at 18 months of scarlet fever in the house. And that same year, Thomas Sr.'s nearby general store burned down in a case of arson. This dude's son died, his baby died, and someone heard that news. It was like, oh, it's tragic.
Oh, he's grieving. He's probably not paying attention to that store of his.
Burn that down.
Oh.
Monsters living in this town. Devastated, the family moved to San Francisco, where they had 3 more kids: George Hayes Ringgold, Violet Eloise, and Corinne Lillian. However, an earthquake in 1868 would force the family to return to live in the Whaley house in San Diego.
It seems like they're followed by doom.
Yeah, I mean, they're really just getting boned by fate right now. This is just not a good time for them.
Not pleasant.
Unfortunately, tragedy would continue to fall on the family over the years, as Violet Whaley would kill herself in 1885. She shot herself in the heart in the backyard outhouse due to grief over her failed marriage. Thomas Whaley found her dying and brought her inside the house into the back of the parlor, where she passed away 15 minutes later. Over the next 68 years, 3 members of the Whaley family would die inside the house: Anna Whaley in 1913, Francis in 1914, and then Lillian in 1953. Now that we've established the history, let's examine the ghostly inhabitants that are believed to haunt these walls, and give this house the reputation as the most haunted house in America.
Do you think because you believe in all this stuff that you have a higher chance of being a ghost?
Oh yeah, I would think so. I'd be a pleasant ghost. I'd like pour people tea and stuff like that.
What?
Or I'd do chores around the house. They'd be like,
no-
whoa, all my laundry's folded. How about that? Thanks, Ryan. And I'd tip my cap and I'd tap dance out of the room.
You sound fun.
Yeah, right? Doesn't that sound great? Wouldn't you like to be haunted by me? The first ghosts we'll discuss are Thomas Jr. and Violet Whaley. Infant cries are often heard in the house, an experience likely attributed to the fact that Thomas Jr. died from scarlet fever inside the house at the age of 18 months. On the second floor of the house in the back room, people have seen a young woman and report feeling a profound sorrow in this area. This young woman is believed to be Violet Whaley. EVP session in what may be Violet's room.
This is the sorrowful room. Do you feel sorrowful in here?
No, not really. I prefer, actually, I'm fine with not talking too much to her because she's
Violet, we're going to be very, very quiet right now. And if you want to deliver us a message, please whisper it faintly into one of our ears. Or,
oh, you son of a...
Or something. Okay. Or make Ryan's tummy grumble. And here we go.
Now you feel sleepy?
Yeah. We're in a bedroom. That's fair.
There are other spiritually active areas of the house with unidentified sightings of apparitions. In the early 1900s, the house was rented out to various tenants by Lillian, so it's possible these unidentified apparitions could be the spirits of former tenants. Some have seen a little girl in the dining room. Vaudeville music is sometimes heard in the theater room. If there is anybody in here, perhaps you want to do a little dance for us? And psychics that have visited the house say the courtroom is especially active.
What do you feel in here?
I feel a little bit like I'm being watched, but I don't mind it. A woman is sometimes seen here in the back corner of the jury box. Paranormal investigators also claim this back corner is a spiritual vortex.
Spirit, if you're here and you're angry, Ryan would like to feel a shiver up his spine. They don't respond to specific requests.
That is true. You kind of just have to wait for it to happen.
Maybe it's a good portal.
Maybe.
My flashlight went out.
Are you serious? Perhaps battery?
No. I mean, possibly, but I don't know. Do you feel something?
No, there's creaking in this chair next to me. Maybe it's just because it's old wood.
Old wood doesn't creak by itself.
It was said. Oh, fuck, dude. I feel very weird all of a sudden.
Why do you feel weird?
I feel like dizzy.
You feel dizzy?
Yeah, I'm not shitting you. I know every time people watch these ghost hunter shows, they're like, this guy's full of shit, but holy balls, dude. Wow. I don't like this. Oh, wow.
What was that? Did you get a shiver up your spine?
I did. Holy shit. Oh, man, that was crazy. What the fuck is going on, dude?
Can you still move all your limbs?
Oh, I can still move all my limbs. I just feel very uncomfortable.
My goodness.
I know you don't believe me. I can see the look on your face right now.
I don't feel particularly strange. It's not a great chair.
Outside the house, another police officer also had a paranormal experience more than 30 years ago. There was a 911 call from a concerned citizen reporting a woman crying outside the Whaley house. And the officer who responded to that call would witness something that he would only reveal in his confidential retirement letter decades later. When the officer came onto the property, he saw, quote, a woman at the back of the house crying, end quote, and mentioned she was in period clothing. The officer asked, quote, ma'am, are you all right, end quote, to which she turned around and smiled. And when the officer shone his flashlight on her, the woman vanished. Bizarrely, the house also sports the rare instance of a ghost dog and a ghost cat, both of which the Whaleys owned at the time.
Then are there also ghost ants? Is there ghost trees?
No, there's no ghost trees. I'm sorry.
You're not telling me someone's never walked through the forest and seen a tree and be like, huh? Wait a minute, that tree was there. I swear there was a tree there a second ago.
You know what? I've changed my stance on ghost tree. That's actually pretty cool.
Ghost bacteria, etc.
Stop it.
Okay.
Two other ghosts that haunt the house are Thomas and Anna Whaley themselves. Many report seeing Thomas Whaley on the upper landing, where one person claimed he wore a frock coat and pantaloons. Some have reported that he blows tobacco smoke in visitors' faces.
Now that's just rude.
I know, it's kind of just a dick thing to do.
Could you imagine seeing a ghost? Oh my goodness, look at this strange apparition. And he just comes up to you and he's like, you're like, oh, Jesus, man.
Anna Whaley is typically seen in the garden or in one of the downstairs rooms. Anna has also been spotted wearing a green gingham dress, sipping tea in the parlor, a place where Thomas has been seen as well. Interestingly, Anna also reportedly had a run-in with the San Diego police. One night, a Whaley House tour guide named Victor Santana was setting the alarm, and as he was punching in the code, he heard a woman say, quote, "Why are you here?" end quote, which spooked him to the point that he ran out the front door without completing the code, setting off the alarm. Shortly after, a San Diego police officer responded to the Whaley House. Santana recollects the officer, quote, claimed there was a woman in a green dress in the parlor, end quote. But by the time backup arrived, the woman in green had disappeared. How do you arrest a ghost? You can't. You handcuff
I guess
him.
you would have to be a ghost cop.
You know what? I rescind what I said earlier. I won't pour tea and fold clothes. I'll be a ghost cop.
Yeah, that's actually pretty bad.
Ryan Bergara,
Ghost cop.
Doesn't that sound nice?
That's awesome.
I like that.
Yeah.
However, the final and perhaps most feared ghost of all is the ghost of Yankee Jim.
You better watch out, or Yankee Jim will give you some taffy. Some folks say they hear him playing a jolly little kazoo tune in the middle of the night. That's not a ghost, that's not a spooky name.
Part of the reason this house is haunted is due to what occurred on the land before the house was constructed. In 1852, James Yankee Jim Robinson was sentenced to hang to his death for attempting to steal a boat. He was hanged on a gallows off the back of a wagon on the land where the Whaley House stands today. This is the grave of Yankee Jim. They did, straight up murder him for, stealing a boat. He didn't even successfully steal the boat, and yet he was still hanged. I mean, he did get a nice little plaque here.
That is a bummer.
You know, if I were him, I would haunt this place.
Yeah, I would too.
Totally. You know what, Yankee Jim?
It's bullshit.
You know what? I hope you're riding a speedboat in heaven.
Yeah. Oh, you know he's got a great speedboat up in heaven.
Yeah.
You were ahead of your time, Yankee Jim. Rest in peace.
Interestingly enough, Thomas Whaley was reportedly in attendance of that hanging, yet still purchased the land a few years later, a decision that would literally haunt him for decades to come. Thomas and his family would reportedly hear heavy footsteps in the house, an occurrence that Thomas himself would attribute to the ghost of Yankee Jim. Anna Whaley also believed the house was haunted, and furthermore believed the property itself was cursed and perhaps accounted for the tragedy that continually befell the family. But to finish this off, let's spend some time in the parlor, which is believed to be one of the most active areas in the house. This archway was the spot where old Yankee Jim met his demise. And this was where Violet was taken when she was shot. This is where Mrs. Whaley was seen by the policeman.
I'm gonna try and talk to him in here. What if we just, one at a time, so it's more private. Just each of us try to just spend like 5 minutes alone.
Let's do it before I change your mind. Come on, let's just do it.
Okay. I'll go first.
All right.
5 minutes.
You're an idiot.
It's awfully quiet. Yankee Jim, I hear you're a fan of boats. I myself would love a boat. I'm gonna be quiet now and just embrace the darkness. Here we go. Please do feel free to, make it stink or change the temperature, give me goosebumps, whatever you're feeling. Maybe you'd like to appear to me now and sing a little song about boats. I tried to talk about boats and it didn't work. I found it very calming, I gotta be honest. When my 5 minutes was up, I was kind of bummed because it was like almost like meditation.
Shane, I guess it's my turn. Oh, no. Okay, you're gonna be okay, Ryan. You're gonna be fine. Just breathe. If it's any consolation, if there's anybody in here, I am terrified. And if you're scared of me, just know that if you show yourself in front of me, I'm gonna urinate all over this carpet. I do not want to see anybody. I'm not talking to, oh God, I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm not talking to anybody. Oh, I'm losing it. can't. Okay, when are you messing with me?
What are you talking about?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Dude, something whispered in my ear. I can't. I can't. I can't. So I sat in here for 5 minutes. You locked me in here by myself, which I already was against from the beginning. Something breathed in my right ear. And it was so prominent, I thought it was you messing with me. I'm honestly in shock right now.
Are you?
Yeah. After being dedicated as a historic house on May 25th, 1960, the Whaley House has received over 100,000 visitors per year, and a countless number of those people report paranormal experiences. For there to be so many instances of reported paranormal activity in the house, I can certainly believe that it is haunted, especially when considering the history. But nonetheless, whether or not the house is definitively haunted will remain unsolved.
But all the ghosts sound like they're just having a laugh.
You mean the guys, Thomas Whaley blowing
He's blowing
tobacco?
smoke in people's face. She's having tea in the garden. The kids are running around, probably laughing.
Ghost dog and ghost cat?
Chasing the ghost dog and ghost cat. That ghost cat's probably chasing around little ghost mice. There's a lot going on in this house.
It sounds like the Pirates of the Caribbean carousel
Yeah.
where they're just chasing each other.
Yeah.
This is Nightmare Room. This is where we're sleeping tonight. This week on BuzzFeed Unsolved, we explore one of the most haunted places in the world as part of our ongoing investigation to answer the question, are ghosts real? Right now we are sitting in the Queen Salon of undoubtedly the creepiest boat in the world. Allow me to introduce you to the Queen Mary.
Bit rude to call it the creepiest boat in the world.
I mean, that's not an unfair statement, would you say, right?
It's a marvel. It's a marvel.
Apparently this boat is 2 times the size of the Titanic.
2 times?
2 times.
Titanic's tiny. That's not true.
It's true. All you need to know is I was here about 10 years ago and I said I'd never come back, and well, here I am.
You're not a man of your word.
You know, I will say this is a beautiful sunset though. If there's one thing I could take solace in today.
It's that nice sunset. Enjoy it, Ryan. It's the last one you're ever gonna see.
Well, I'm back. that is that.
Do you feel like it remembers you?
I certainly hope not after what I did last time I was here.
What did you do?
You'll find out.
You mean that you think there's something about Mary? That
Indeed, yeah, that's exactly.
She might be a little bit enchanted.
Yeah, I think so. You know, when things are so pristine and beautiful like this, but vacant, there is something very unsettling to it. I don't know what it is.
What do you find unsettling about this?
Lots of things. That being said, let's get into the history of this boat. Named after Britain's actual Queen Mary, the Queen Mary was completed in the 1930s and embarked on its inaugural voyage on May 27, 1936 from Southampton, England. The boat served as the new benchmark for luxury, containing 2 cocktail bars, 2 swimming pools, 5 dining areas and lounges, a grand ballroom, and much more. However, all that luxury would soon go to waste during World War II, when the ship was repurposed as a transportation vessel for troops and prisoners of war, and was appropriately painted gray. In fact, the ship was so much faster than enemy U-boats that it earned the nickname the Gray Ghost.
Did they paint it gray specifically for the war?
You don't think the Gray Ghost is a pretty cool nickname?
It is a pretty badass name.
Captain of the Gray Ghost. Tell that story in a bar.
Oh, my ship? Well, she's called the Gray Ghost.
The ship was estimated to have carried over 800,000 servicemen throughout the war. In 1947, the ship returned to the Queen Mary status, and in 1965, it was sold to the city of Long Beach in California, where it is now docked permanently. Now that we've established the boat's history, let's take a second to revisit my own personal history with this ship.
Oh, God.
I've told Shane this story before, but about 10 years ago when I was it 10 years ago?
This is riveting.
When I was 17 years old, I visited this ship with a couple friends. I was really interested in the paranormal, but didn't believe it was a real thing. Never thought I'd be back in this room. This was the This was my ghost father. After taunting the ghosts to show themselves and coming up empty again, I returned disappointed to my hotel room on the boat, cabin B484.
Oh boy.
It hasn't changed one bit. It's exactly the same.
Which bed were you on?
I was sleeping right here.
On this one?
I was sleeping on the left side towards the wall.
You were hanging out. This looks like a Best Western.
That night when I slept, I was repeatedly poked in the face, but I was too scared to open my eyes, and when I finally did to confront the person I was sleeping next to, my friend Elvin, I discovered to my horror that he was actually fast asleep and snoring. I thought maybe,
Ain't that like Elvin?
yeah, maybe nothing, maybe it was nothing, so I tried to push through it. I eventually did fall asleep. The next morning I went into the bathroom. My friend Casey saw the sink turn on, so we set up a camera to try and catch that. So when we set up the camera, we actually caught, if you look in the footage at the left corner, there's a bag with toothpaste on top of it.
You'll never forget that plastic Ziploc bag.
Fuck you.
I'm getting chills seeing the actual toothbrush that has been so
Okay, see,
often
look it,
used.
you can see it.
It already happened?
Yeah, it already happened.
Not boding well, considering I didn't even catch
You were
it.
focusing on the wrong side of the screen.
Yeah,
There.
there's definitely a force at play there, though.
And what is that?
Gravity.
Play that again.
See it again.
Okay, you gotta admit, that looks weird. No? All right, let's
It really doesn't.
let's rewind it again.
It happens at the exact same time that you throw your shit on the counter.
There's always something. Look
Yeah.
at the bag, how it moves. It's like,
Yeah, because there's toothpaste on it.
there's like a jitter. Watch.
Bags are stiff.
That's a pretty firm movement. It almost looks like someone's puppeteering it with a string.
Right, it's a haunted bag.
You can't see that it flung it a little bit.
This toothpaste falls straight down.
It was up and down.
Straight down.
Up and down.
Straight down.
No, up and down. Before that toothpaste hit the floor, I didn't believe in ghosts. I thought this was all BS. But what I saw in that bathroom changed me into the man that you see today. A firm believer in ghosts and the paranormal. I've never doubted it again, and I swore I would never return to this ship, and yet here I sit like a freaking idiot. So
I've told you numerous times that I would love to see something like that. If I just get one experience like that with definitive proof, maybe tonight's the night, I'm feeling lucky.
that being said, let's explore some of the paranormally active areas of the ship in my return to the Queen Mary. There are quite a few documented deaths that occurred on the Queen Mary, and numerous more reported ones, so let's revisit a couple. In 1936, Sir Edgar Britton, the first captain of the Queen Mary, died of a stroke in his cabin. In 1949, Senior Second Officer William Stark accidentally drank laundry detergent stored in a gin bottle, thereby poisoning himself to death.
Who's storing that in a gin bottle, though?
Apparently, the captain at the time had a gin bottle in his room, and he said, you know, you've been doing a good job today. Go to my room, pour yourself a drink. He failed to mention there was acid, or I've also heard it was detergent.
This doesn't taste like, this burning my tongue. I better swallow it. You imagine him just a minute after the guy left the room being like,
Oh shit, I didn't drink the other bottle with the X's on it.
oh, darn it.
By the way, Shane, I have a bottle of whiskey in the room for you if you want to go take a
I'll
sip
go,
of it.
let
yeah,
me go
good,
get
go,
that.
go. Yeah. However, the most unfortunate deaths all occurred at one time. As I had mentioned before, the Queen Mary served as a transportation vessel during World War II. On October 2nd, 1942, the Queen Mary was being escorted from New York to Glasgow by another much smaller vessel called the HMS Curaçao. The Curaçao was zigzagging in front of the Queen Mary to confuse potential U-boats and German bombers. However, the Queen Mary, traveling at 28.5 knots, unexpectedly caught up to the Curaçao and consequently collided with the ship, splitting the HMS Curaçao in half.
Boy, how much bigger was it? 20 times bigger?
20 times bigger.
That just fucking cut through that thing like a hot butter patty.
Butter patty?
Yeah, like a hot butter patty.
That's not what it's called. Some members of the Curaçao were killed instantly on impact, while others were thrown into the freezing water, watching as the men who remained on board sank, trapped within the remains of the vessel. And for those left in the water that didn't die from hypothermia, it is said that the current of the Queen Mary carried them in, chopping them up in the propeller.
Ugh.
That's all you gotta say about that?
Boats are tough, you know?
Boats are tough.
It's not an easy life, boat life.
Due to war protocol, the captain of the Queen Mary, Cyril Illingworth, was not able to stop to rescue the passengers, and they pushed forward, reporting the incident to nearby British destroyers. But by the time the British arrived, about 2 hours later, it was too late. Many had already died from hypothermia, and of the 430 crew members on board the HMS Curaçao, only 99 survived. It is said that you can hear the screams of the Curacao passengers in the boiler room of the Queen Mary. And some claim that the bow of the ship is a hotspot due to the fact that it's where the Queen Mary made contact with the Curacao.
Are you scared right now?
Yeah, you're not fucking scared right now?
Are you just afraid of anything that's old?
Dude, do you have any idea where we are right now?
It's a boat.
Right now we're in the bow of the ship.
Yeah.
This is where the ship struck the Curacao.
We're in her belly.
That's the cargo hold. They used to keep POWs down there. I got a new toy. This is a FLIR thermal camera. So if there's any ghosts here, we may be able to pick up their heat signature. Look at you. Look at your little stupid face. Normally I'm against asking or communicating with ghosts, but if I'm truly gonna be actually an investigator in this, I have to, right?
Yeah, do it. Go on, Ryan. Go on, talk
You know
to
my
me.
history with this boat.
Be direct.
Shut up, shut up, shut up. First off, sorry for what I said last time.
What did you call it?
I called it a motherfucker, I called it a coward,
Ryan.
and I said, this whole ship is bullshit. We're not here to hurt you. Oh God. And I think you're not here to hurt me.
Though Ryan is very angry about that toothpaste incident.
Shut up, Shane.
He told me before we got here.
Shut your stupid mouth.
Spirits? Spirit, show yourself.
No, don't, what are you doing?
You said to be direct.
Yeah, but don't be Bruce Willis from Die Hard.
Spirit.
We had a scavenger hunt one day for some youngsters. Well, no one ever found their way down there that day, so I was there by myself. And I'm sitting there tapping on the woodwork next to the porthole, and I thought, well, wouldn't it be weird if somebody responded? And lo and behold, just on the other side of the wall, I heard somebody go tap, tap. I mean, could it have been my imagination? Of course. Could it have been a spirit? Well, maybe.
No, no,
Bum, bum, ba, bum, bum.
no. I mean, you could try that. Oh, man, this... Wait.
It's just creaking, it's fine.
Why did it do it right then? Do it again. Okay, we're good. Nothing happened. No, we're good. We're good again. Yeah, we're good. It's all good.
It's all good.
It's all good. It's all good. Other alleged deaths include 2 women who drowned in the first-class swimming pool. One apparition appears in 1930s clothing, and the other in 1960s. There is also reports of a little boy who fell overboard near the pool who now haunts the passageway. A little girl named Jackie also is reported to haunt the swimming pool areas.
I just think it's embarrassing for them to drown in a pool on a boat.
That's true. Also, was there no lifeguard on duty?
You're on a
That
thing
guy's-
that has conquered buoyancy.
They drowned on top of the ocean.
Yeah.
In the ocean.
Yeah.
According to the ship's current captain, during World War II, a cook died in horrific fashion. Apparently, he was shoved into an oven by Australian soldiers and consequently burned to death.
Wait, what happened?
Australian soldiers they had picked up, who did not like the food, took this chef and instead of giving him 1 star on Yelp, shoved him into an oven. Maybe
Cooks
that's why they
actually-
created Yelp.
Yeah, cooks
Maybe.
were tired of being murdered.
Many say his screams can still be heard.
Yeah, we heard a glass break a couple seconds ago, too.
Yeah, did you hear that?
Yeah, we are right next to, I mean, down the hall is the galley where the kitchen was. I'm a little unnerved that the clanking did come from the kitchen.
That doesn't sit super well.
Oh, wow, you're actually admitting to something for once. In 1966, an 18-year-old crewman was crushed by door number 13, an automatically closing door during a watertight drill. His ghost is sometimes seen wearing white coveralls.
Looks very confusing. It looks like it'd be pretty easy to get crushed to death here.
I mean, this is just in itself, even if this is not spiritually active. I mean, look at this place.
It's a marvel.
It's just massive.
There's just numbers. How could anyone possibly know what the hell's going on down
Is
here?
number 13, is this where it had?
No, this is not.
Oh,
This
this
is
is
where
different.
lubrication happened. Huh? Lubrication oil pump controllers, to be exact.
A little semen lubrication.
Jesus Christ.
Huh?
No.
That's funny.
And I think this is it right here. This is door number 13. Do I feel strange right here? Yep, I don't like it. I'm gonna get out of that. It is crazy that of all the numbers, he could have gotten stuck in 13. Oh, man. Okay, now I'm starting to get scared again. Hello there, if there's anybody here, please show us a sign, make a bang. Be nice. No. No fucking way, no.
It's clearly just some machine turning on.
No, that's gotta be, that's an engine, right?
Yeah, probably. Or a ghost.
Right now I'm talking to the gentleman who got crushed in this door. If you're here still, please show yourself. I'm not seeing it, just light bulbs and shit. Not seeing anything, not seeing anything. Scanning. Whoa.
Did you see something?
Look at this, it's just a light, but it looks like someone looking out. Does that not?
Yeah, it does.
Holy shit, dude, that's
like
scared.
a human being staring at
the
you.
holy shit out of me. Other hotspots on the ship include the engine room, the safe room, the R-deck forward bow storage, the wheelhouse, the propeller box, and finally, the isolation ward, where the sick and those diagnosed with a contagious disease were kept away from the other passengers. And in some cases, the isolation ward served as a makeshift prison. Let's do this.
Pigeon looks scared too.
Oh my god, I almost... My fucking heart almost exploded, dude.
Your heart on exploded?
What? Shit. What the fuck, dude? Check that out. Let's move on to the final stage of the investigation, spending the night on the ship. We've been given access to the most haunted cabin on the Queen Mary, cabin B340.
You're in for a real experience tonight in there.
You're really gonna hate this.
I imagine I'm gonna hate this. Okay, about to look at this for the first. You've got to be fucking shitting me, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, no, Ryan, no.
You gotta sleep in here.
Oh, this is where we're sleeping tonight.
Yeah. You're gonna lose your mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna lose my mind, of course. Workers that have worked on this ship for decades, in some cases, they never go in there by themselves. And when I told them that we're sleeping in there, they laughed and told me I was an idiot to my face.
Well,
so that's fun. The cabin has reports of voices, beds shaking, water running, and lights being turned on by itself. In fact, cabin B340 has garnered so many reports and complaints of activity that it was actually shut down and ripped apart about 25 years ago. Since then, nobody's been allowed to sleep inside, until tonight, where we will attempt to sleep inside cabin B340 for the first time in nearly 25 years. I don't think we've ever attempted something more idiotic than this. Holy shit. Are you kidding me? This is a nightmare room. If there's anybody in here that wants to talk to us, say something. If there's, please God, no. Oops. Did you just fart? I did. You piece of shit, Shane.
did my fart scare you?
Are you fucking kidding me?
It was an accident. I didn't do that on purpose. I genuinely did not.
It just slipped. It just slipped right out of your butt cheeks.
If I see anything at all tonight that awakes something in me, then I'll join you in this weird little camp.
And you'll be me.
I'll be you.
Man, bed shaking in here. That's gnarly. Joke's on them. No bed to shake.
Gotcha, ghost. It's an empty room. What is the ghost even gonna do in there?
I don't know. Poke me in the face like it did when I was 17?
Oh crap, I'm already doing it. I'm starting to psych myself out again.
Just focus on how tired you are. Oh, what the fuck is that? Is cats fighting?
Dude, what the fuck is going on?
Is there animals fighting outside?
No, that doesn't sound like animals. It sounds like static.
No, those are outside.
Oh, it was?
Yeah. I mean, we tried to sleep at the Sally house, and every time I fell asleep, you woke me up.
Yeah, well, I can't make any promises that you're going to stay awake
I
tonight.
am going to go to sleep.
No,
and
you're not.
If you try to wake me up, I'm just going to ignore you.
I'm going to pour water in your face.
You do whatever the hell you want. I'm not going to acknowledge you.
You know, what was that?
Yeah, some bullshit.
You didn't hear it?
No.
It sounded like a voice.
A voice?
Yeah.
You've somehow tricked me into not being upset that you're still talking, but I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna try again. I don't know what you did. I'm angry again.
You just kicked me?
Yeah, I did, sorry.
Oh. What the fuck? It's morning. We're still here.
Yeah.
I wasn't stabbed to death with a butter knife.
The room is clear.
The room is clear. And now it's just an empty, bare room appropriate for a sitcom exit.
Oh, we've had some fun times in here.
Farewell to the Queen Mary.
She's a beaut. You're a beaut. You're a beautiful lady. I love your bones.
The prodigal son returned today and didn't come back with as much evidence as last time, but what a ship still.
Oh, what a ship.
And I'm still not prepared to say this place is not haunted because I very much believe it is.
So it remains.
The Queen Mary is an 80-year-old ship with plenty of rich yet tragic history. Are there actually ghosts that inhabit the halls and decks of this former warship? Or is that merely part of the narrative? After spending one nearly sleepless night in the ship, I can certainly attest to the fact that the Queen Mary may be haunted. But as always, the answer will remain unsolved.
It says danger. I wouldn't go in there.
Holy shit.
Turn the light off!
Oh my god. This week on BuzzFeed Unsolved, we explore Bobby Mackey's music world, which is seemingly a normal Kentucky bar, but many believe it's actually a portal to hell. As many of you know, or as many of you who watch this show know, I hate demons and I will only do one per season. So this is my sacrifice for this season.
I didn't know that was your rule.
It's my one rule.
Oh, thanks for breaking it.
Would it have killed them to make this any closer to the city? Does it have to be on the side of a weird, creepy road?
We'd all like to live in the big fancy city.
You know what I meant. And the worst part is, I don't even have my holy water. I went to 8 churches today to try and get some holy water, and I could not get one bit of holy water. So now I'm going into a demon hole with no holy water. What? Bobby Mackey's, the most haunted nightclub in America. They're certainly not hiding from it anymore. At least the sign's in nice, fun font.
It's like Cheers with demons.
I'll open the door for you. You walk in first. How about that?
We do this every time, and you throw it down like it's a challenge. But okay.
God, the creak. Oh, that's pleasant.
It's got a girls' night out.
No, not that. Warning to our patrons, this establishment is reported to be haunted. Management is not responsible and cannot be held liable for any actions of any ghosts/spirits on these premises. Obviously enough weird stuff has happened here to necessitate a sign like that. You're not a little alarmed? Look at all these cool little newspaper clippings too. Oh, fuck me. Well, we're in.
Spooky, huh?
Let's just sit down and then I'll tell you the history of this place.
Okay.
Aside from housing a supposed portal to hell, Bobby Mackey's also has plenty of rich history that lends itself to spiritual hauntings.
I was locking up after a tour, which happened to be pretty quiet that whole evening, and just all of a sudden I started hearing what sounded like all of the windows and doors were just shaking violently, and you could actually feel them, shaking through, the walls, the floors were shaking. It was pretty creepy, and so I just stuck my head out the door, and no one was there.
Originally, Bobby Mackey's Music World was believed to be built as a slaughterhouse and meatpacking plant in the 1850s. The building would go through many incarnations, including a hotel in the 1920s, a country club in the 1930s, and a club and casino called the Latin Quarter throughout the 1930s and the 1950s. The club was actually run by a Cleveland gang syndicate and was reportedly heavily involved in the mob. It's unclear how many undocumented deaths and crimes may have occurred during these mob times. The room that is now the men's bathroom used to be an office in the casino that may have had darker implications. This used to be an office back in the day. Apparently, there was a trap door in here that leads directly to the portal to hell downstairs.
Yikes.
And they would drop bodies down that.
Nowadays, they drop something else in here.
Nowadays, only deuces. There is also a safe room that used to house the casino money. All right, so right now we're gonna go into the what the fuck.
What?
My eyes must be playing tricks with me. You're not gonna believe me if I tell you, so why I even tell you? But pretty much, I thought I saw something pass by the...
You sure it wasn't just
Maybe it was
bars there?
Maybe it was the light moving. Right now we are in the safe room from back in the old casino mafia days.
Mob guys, thought you were tough guys. Thought you were big tough guys with your guns and your threatening and your cursing. Why don't you come in here and give us the business, huh? Why don't you punch me in the face, maybe smack me around a little? What are you, a wussy?
All right, we're gonna be quiet for 1 minute. You have 1 minute. Right, ready, and now. Oh, fuck, you scared the shit out of me. Oh my God.
There's disco ball on the ceiling.
I just got startled by a disco ball. The casino was closed in 1961 by local sheriffs cracking down on organized crime. Now that we've established the general history, let's go over some of the history and legend that haunts Bobby Mackey's. Reportedly, in the 1940s, a pregnant woman named Johanna killed herself after her lover was murdered. Johanna may have been the daughter of one of the gangster casino owners, and reportedly was also a dancer at the club formerly housed in Bobby Mackey's. The story goes that her father had her lover, said to be named Robert Randall, killed. Eerily, Bobby, which is the first name of the bar's current owner, is actually a nickname. Bobby Mackey's full name is Robert Randall Mackey, leading some to believe that Joanna thinks Bobby Mackey is her former lover, Robert Randall.
She knows he's dead, though.
It's a ghost. She doesn't even know she's dead.
Well, the ghost looks at him and doesn't realize it's a different person?
Maybe they can't, they don't see things that way. Maybe they just like hear the name Robert Randall. Like, I don't know how it works, okay?
Do you think he's like
this is a theory.
Do you think he's like taken his license out before and the ghost was looking at it, but his thumb was covering his last name and she was like, Robert Randall, that must be my lover.
Maybe.
I imagine most people walk in here and say, hey, Bobby.
Yeah.
So why is she confusing him with Robert Randall?
I don't know. Why don't you ask her?
She doesn't seem like a very intelligent ghost.
Jesus Christ, you always have to insult the ghosts of the place we're at. After her lover Robert was reportedly killed by her father, it said that Johanna poisoned and killed her father before poisoning herself in one of the dressing rooms at Bobby Mackey's.
So the roses are for her?
The roses are meant for Joanna. I'm guessing for people who come in here and investigate. All right, I'm gonna sit down.
Joanna, are you here? What about the demons?
Jesus Christ.
Are they here? Ryan's not scared of you either.
Nope, that's not true. Whoa, you keep tricking me into fucking talking to them, you dickhead. It's worth mentioning that I could find no record of this specific Joanna, though there is apparently a death certificate of a woman named Joanna who died in Bobby Mackey's due to poisoning. Another interesting area in the bar is the former kitchen, where Bobby Mackey's first caretaker, Carl Lawson, had an exorcism performed on him. What's so funny about that?
In the kitchen?
Yeah, I find that a strange place to get exercise as well.
Was it like an emergency?
Like a house call emergency? Like, you need to come down here quick. He was eating a bagel in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And he just fell down. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
No, that didn't happen that way. I don't know why they did it there. Lawson claims that he became demonically possessed during his stay at Bobby Mackey's. As caretaker, Carl Lawson actually lived in the apartment located above the bar, where he reportedly had experiences with many entities. Right now we're looking for the entrance to Carl's apartment. There's stairs that lead up to where he used to live up there. And one might think that's where he got possessed. Holy shit.
Oof, tight squeeze.
Jesus Christ, man. Oh boy. A little freaked out now.
Very poor cable management.
Oh boy. And the sign up front says go away.
Carl is a bit of a curmudgeon. Oh, gross.
Oh, Jesus Christ. God, I don't like the way this room, maybe it's because it's just awful looking. I hate the way
It's old.
I feel in here.
Like pretty much everywhere we go, it's old and gross.
And it certainly looks like a room where you would lose your mind. I'll give him that. What the fuck?
What?
You come over here and you open this.
What?
It says danger, do not enter, keep out.
Well, why would we go in there?
Because, well, I mean, naturally you got it.
No. If it says danger.
Oh, oh shit.
What?
That fucking door just moved. Why was it pinning the door shut?
I don't know. It says danger. I wouldn't go in there. It's a ghost hole. Whoa, they got Peter Frampton tapes in here. And Springsteen. Oh.
Oh, now you go in. Let's examine one last bit of dark history. On January 31st, 1895, 20-year-old Pearl Bryan was brutally murdered by her boyfriend Scott Jackson and his friend Alonzo Walling. Pearl had been 5 months pregnant at the time of her death. Jackson and Walling were both dental students at the time, and legend has it that they felt their medical knowledge was sufficient enough to perform an abortion. If that was the case, then obviously things went horribly wrong, and they eventually decapitated Pearl in an attempt to conceal the body's identity.
What? What were they trying to do? How do you go that wrong?
No one's like fooling around with the tools down by like the pelvic area and then like slips, oh shit, there goes my scalpel, oh, it chopped her head off. That's not how it works.
I accidentally lopped it. A little too much off the top on this one. I'm gonna be a little leery next time I go into the dentist and they put me under.
My dad's a dentist.
What?
Yeah.
Has he ever cut anybody's head off?
Not that I know of. I mean, I'm 99.9% sure he's never cut anyone's head off in his time as a dentist.
That's concerning that there's that tiny margin of error.
That implies that maybe he may have before he was a dentist. I don't know about that time.
Are you ever eating?
I've only known him as the dentist.
Have you ever eaten dinner with him and he just kind of stares at the wall for a second and you wonder like...
And there's like a slight glint on the knife.
Yeah.
And then like
is he thinking about that time you accidentally cut someone's head off?
Though, some believe this wasn't an accident, and Jackson and Walling intended to murder Pearl the entire time. Either way, Jackson and Walling were hung from the same scaffold at the same time, claiming innocence until the end, despite the piles of evidence against them. Legend says that Alonzo Walling threatened that he would come back and haunt the area after he died. Some believe he may have kept his word.
That's the weirdest thing to do. Before you die, just be like, I'm gonna haunt you!
It means nothing to you at the time, but if it gets, you know, other people all like crazy, then why not?
Yeah, I'm gonna make creaks.
No, not that specific. You're getting too specific now.
Oh, you gotta be.
You need to get more general.
Because then every time they hear a creak, they'll think, that's Shane. I shouldn't have killed him. Anytime you get uneasy, that's me.
Horrifically, the head of Pearl was never found, and the two never revealed where they put it. Legend has it that they threw the head down the well in Bobby Mackey's basement. Fuck me. That's Carl's old workroom. Look at the holes. There's bullet holes in this door.
Huh? Whoa! That's the real deal, baby.
But a history of death and violence isn't the only thing that brings this basement to life. Around the 1890s, the building that would become Bobby Mackey's closed its doors as a slaughterhouse. After it closed, it's been said that Bobby Mackey's, and the basement in particular, became a site where occultists performed rituals. And when combined with the dark mob history, there's no telling what dark entities could reside in the basement. In fact, located in the basement, there's even a cage that functioned as a makeshift prison during mob times.
So we've got the spooky,
Jesus Christ.
spooky jail cell here. Oh, you're gonna make me sit in the shitty chair?
Put the light right there.
We'll start with it on and see if it turns off. Now what? Now what, Ryan?
Shut up, Shane.
Demon, turn it on if you're planning to do us harm tonight.
It only happens right away when there's something actually doing something to it.
Turn it on if you want to hurt us.
Fucking shit! God! Why do you keep asking questions like that? What's wrong with you? Do you want to fucking die?
It's just a coincidence.
The reason why Shane thinks the flashlight is BS is because a mag light, when turned to the point between on and off, will actually flicker on and off at random due to the heating and cooling of the reflector inside. This is scientifically true. However, the light can also turn on and off due to the slightest physical touch, perhaps like the touch of a spirit. And that's where it gets paranormal for me, when the light turns on and off, consistently on command over a period of time, like in the Sally house, and maybe like we're seeing in the portal to hell.
Turn it off if if you want to follow Ryan Bergara home.
Why would you ask it that?
He lives in Los Angeles.
Even if this is, why would you even take the chance?
You're gonna have a hard time getting on the plane. Demons!
Fucking, I'm not.
Turn the light off!
Fucking shut up!
Demons!
What is?
You're not trying hard enough!
Oh my God!
Plunge us into darkness, demons!
What is wrong with you?
Demons!
Oh my God! You have a death wish.
Demons, you cowards!
You have a death wish.
Turn the light off. No, it's a bunch of baloney, man. Can we check out some other rooms here?
The center of this dark energy is undoubtedly located in the well room, a room occultists used to discard remains of the small animals sacrificed during the occult ceremonies. Some believe that Scott Jackson, the murderer of Pearl Bryan, was a member of this occult, and that he tossed Pearl's dismembered head down the well in the basement at Bobby Mackey's as part of a satanic ritual. Many people believe this well is a portal to hell, a portal that opened the door for the other unnamed demonic entities that roamed the basement in Bobby Mackey's. There's accounts of growls, dizziness, and physical assaults. All right, so this is, inside this door is the well room. That's the portal to hell in there. So we're gonna do 2 minutes each alone in there.
Uh-huh.
I wanna be able to be pulled out as soon as something happens, so I'm just gonna tie this around me. They used to do this in the Old Testament. I'm gonna tie this around my waist, and you're gonna hold the other end, and if I knock on this, or if I can't breathe because something's choking me in there, if I pull on this rope, you pull me the fuck out of there.
Okay.
Ah, fucking Christ. Oh, please. Please. I'm not gonna talk to anything in here. I don't want to do anything. Oh my God.
We got some rope. Ryan, you okay in there?
I'm fine, I'm just walking around. Okay, you're gonna be okay, Ryan. You're gonna be okay.
Ryan, would you be quiet?
I'm gonna be quiet now.
We got 2 minutes.
2 minutes? I thought we already did the 2 minutes.
No, I'm saying we just finished.
I'm good? Can I come out?
You're good, you can come out. Was it scary?
Yeah, it was fucking scary.
Okay, I feel safe. Going into the demon hole.
You're on your own.
All right. Hey there, demons. It's me, your boy. I'm standing near your hole, and it's very dark. And frankly, I don't believe in you, so I feel like I'm writing a letter to Santa Claus right now. But my friend Ryan does believe in you, so maybe you are real. He's a, I wouldn't say logical person, but smart. I guess I'll be quiet now, and if you want to pick me up or scratch me or slam me into the ceiling, now would be the best opportunity for that. Understand, I do have a rope here, so, you know. All right, maintaining silence now. Do try to kill me.
You trying to fuck with me?
Yeah. No demons in there. This place is cleared. All right. It's been fun, Bobby Mackey.
Let's get the fuck out of here. All right. We did it.
We
Goodbye, demon.
Goodbye, demon.
I'm now acknowledging you because I'm leaving.
This is the only time Ryan has courage.
This is the only time I feel confident when I'm walking out the door. So goodbye forever. You'll never see this mug again.
The happiest that you ever are is when we're leaving.
Yeah, because all the joy comes back in my body. Many investigators have ended their nights early due to not being able to handle the forces that reside in the basement. Nobody can say for sure if Bobby Mackey's is haunted, but just going off the countless accounts of paranormal and even dangerous activity, it's not a stretch to say that there may be something supernatural at Bobby Mackey's. But whether or not Bobby Mackey's is definitively haunted will remain unsolved.
I got a little spoiler for you. Everything in the building is going to look like this.
Oh my God. And I guess this is where we're fucking sleeping because we're idiots.
How are you feeling? Are you nervous?
Yeah, I'm a little nervous. I got that familiar knot that's usually in my stomach when I go to these places. I've seen this one on several shows before and always thought there's no way in hell I'm gonna go there. So we are approaching Waverly.
The look of this building is so imposing. I'm surprised you're conscious right now.
I'm keeping it together for now. There's a good chance tonight is the night you see me die on camera.
It kind of looks like a castle.
It kind of looks like hell.
It looks like Hogwarts.
There's not one part of you that's like, oh man, I'm really in for it now.
I mean, I don't...
What in the fuck is that?
It's just a big metal thing. That's not a ghost, that's metal.
Jesus Christ, dude.
But I think we should let them know that we're entering, you know, just give them a quick, hey ghouls! The boys are here!
This week on BuzzFeed Unsolved, we explore Waverly Hills Sanatorium as part of our ongoing investigation into the question, are ghosts real? As with most places we investigate, it doesn't have the most pleasant history, making it one of the most haunted places in the world. And as you can see, this is the place where nightmares are made. I mean, look at that.
It's very dark. It's a dark hallway.
I just don't get any of this. I don't understand.
I know.
Okay. Well, let's break down the history for Mr. Robot over here.
Please.
On July 26, 1910, Waverly Hills Sanatorium opened to treat patients of tuberculosis. On October 17, 1926, a bigger version of Waverly Hills that we are now sitting in tonight opened to accommodate the overflow of patients from the tuberculosis epidemic. The hospital is 5 stories tall and was built on a quiet space atop a hill where it was thought that patients would be at peace and receive lots of fresh air. Most importantly, it would keep the patients quarantined far away from crowded areas. Fuck me. I feel awful right now.
Looks like one of the Conjuring films. I got a little spoiler for you. Everything in the building is going to look like this.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
We've really done it now, haven't we?
We've done it now.
Let's provide a little background on tuberculosis. Tuberculosis, also known as TB, or the White Plague, is a bacterial infection contracted by breathing in air containing Mycobacterium tuberculosis. The bacteria could eat away at the lungs and overall claimed roughly 2 billion lives in total, billed as, quote, the plague of all plagues, end quote.
I'm glad we're done with that.
Yeah, that was a rough time in history.
Just everybody died from it. I feel like in every movie about a period before 1940 or something, there's a part in the movie where someone coughs and everybody looks at him.
And there's blood on the
And
handkerchief.
there's blood
he's
on
like,
the handkerchief.
He tucks it in his jacket real quick.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Around the turn of the 20th century, tuberculosis ran rampant in the warm, wet weather of Kentucky, and the demand for treatment necessitated a facility like Waverly Hills Sanatorium. It could accommodate up to 500 patients. Unfortunately, not all the treatment was effective. According to owner Tina Mattingly, Waverly also used electroshock therapy to treat patients whose tuberculosis spread to the brain.
The electroshock therapy is on the first floor, what we call the morgue wing. And electroshock is where they performed on the patients that got tuberculosis of the brain. Probably didn't help them, I'm sure, but they didn't know what else to do.
There's a little theater in here.
Yeah, it's set up because sometimes they put stuff on for Halloween, but this is the room. Do you feel strange?
No.
Let me sit down on this couch.
Oof. It's filthy.
Yeah, well, we're gonna be sleeping on the ground later, so it doesn't really matter, does it?
I think the ground is cleaner than this couch.
It's pretty dusty. Are my butt cheeks now?
Yeah, that's a perfect butt print. You got your 2 pockets there.
Oh, look at that, the 2 pockets and everything.
Rambergar's butt. Someone will come here in a week and they'll be like, it's a ghost butt. A lot of you were probably very unhappy here. It seems like a room where they were doing a lot of medical things that maybe you didn't enjoy. If you're here, we're gonna be real quiet right now. Maybe make some noise. Okay, here we go. Shockingly, I'm not really hearing anything. This is the biggest upset. I did not see this coming.
Interestingly enough, due to the fact that tuberculosis is highly contagious, Waverly Hills was largely self-sufficient. They grew their own food, raised animals, had a post office, etc. Basically, once you went to Waverly Hills, whether you were a patient, nurse, or doctor, you were no longer part of the outside world. Eventually, a vaccine was made readily available for tuberculosis, and Waverly Hills closed its doors in 1961. It's been debated how many died within its walls before doing so. Current co-owner Tina Mattingly has claimed the number is approximately in the tens of thousands, but nobody can know for sure. Regardless, death was so common that the hospital actually contains a horrifying area nicknamed the body chute, a tunnel used to dispose of dead bodies out of eyesight from the other patients. The tunnel is roughly 500 feet long and leads down the hill.
If I were staying here, I wouldn't want to be watching them shuttle bodies through the hall all day.
Like, oh, where's Pete? Down the chute.
They shooted him.
He shooted him. That's fucked up.
Pete done got shooted. Is that the body
I
chute?
think this is the body chute.
Well, let's take a look.
Oh my God, this is awful.
Now this is the nightmare.
Oh no, 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 no. No. You have gotta be fucking Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
This is like Satan's cement butthole.
Oh my God, dude.
Shit.
Oh my God. How far does this go? Are we going to hell?
Let's find out.
If there's anybody down here that maybe hated this tunnel,
This is a witch hole.
let us know. Make your presence known. Preferably now and not when we get to the bottom of this tunnel. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It looks like there's a soccer ball at the bottom.
Well, that's good.
Oh my God, are you serious?
What is that? The wind?
I don't know.
It just went woo.
I don't know what the fuck that was. There was some weird whoop noise.
What if I go up there and you stay down here and we turn our lights off and see if we hear anything?
What if you go fuck yourself? How about that? How long am I staying down here? A minute? Yeah. Fuck. All right. Lights off in 3, 2, 1. Oh God. Oh no, no, no. I hate this.
This is sort of beautiful.
I didn't even get to do all the things on my bucket list.
Shut up.
You a minute yet? Please tell me it's been a minute. Hello?
Okay, it's been a minute.
I hated that.
Get me the fuck out of here. I'm leaving. Goodbye, ghost at the bottom. I'm gonna imagine that place is the closest thing to hell.
Not really, because there's no malice there. It's just dead people. It's people who died of a disease and they...
You gotta imagine when their like soul is out and they're watching it get dragged like a World War II victim down this creepy, dingy tunnel is not the thing that you would like to see.
What do you want them to do? Like carry him out on a golden velvet couch?
I'm just saying it's an uncomfortable place.
How dare they dispose of my body? They should leave it in the hallway to rot.
The spirits of the countless who died here are said to now haunt this facility, making Waverly Hills Sanatorium potentially one of the most haunted places in the world. That being said, let's get into some of the reports of paranormal activity. Visitors often claim they hear the sound of children's laughter. Slamming doors are said to be a common occurrence. Some insist faces have appeared in windows to rooms that are unoccupied and in photos where nobody was standing. Waverly Hills is also famous for its reports of shadow people, which are shadowy figures that people claim to see all over the hospital.
If you look down this hallway long enough, your eyes are gonna look at that darkness and eventually you start to see movement in darkness. When there's nothing there, your eyes sort of fill the void.
Yeah, I got the chills even just thinking about it.
So have you ever heard that old thing about when you look at your face in the mirror in low light and eventually it sort of looks demonic? And look it up, it's a thing on the internet.
Who are you pointing to?
All the Shaniacs out there.
Shaniacs! I hate you. Aside from general reports, there are specific areas of this former hospital that we should discuss and investigate in detail. For obvious reasons, the morgue on the first floor is reportedly an area of heightened activity. Supposedly this is one of the more active rooms in this whole joint. You feel any strange feelings right now?
I'm cold. Yeah, it's a morgue. I'd feel stranger if there were actual dead bodies in here.
Well, I mean,
right
these
now.
are accurate autopsy tables from the time. These are real.
Yeah, I see that.
Jesus Christ. Moving to the third floor, a homeless man and his dog supposedly fell down the elevator shaft when the building was vacant. And co-owner Tina Mattingly, as well as many others, claim to have seen the ghost of both the man and the dog.
One night after I had a tour going on, and I was walking down the hallway, and I saw a very tall man, tall, thin, long hair, turn my snake light on up like this and clicked it on. He just wasn't there. Well, at that point, I'm a little nervous, and I start to walk down the hall, and I'm kind of looking around to see if I'd be backed into a room or something. And then I see a dog laying in the floor. It was a white dog. It looked like a small white German Shepherd. And I started, calling to the dog, try to get it up and get it to moving, and it didn't. And then all of a sudden, I didn't see it disappear. I didn't see it get up and walk away. It just wasn't there anymore.
It's also speculated that the man did not accidentally fall down the shaft, but that he was pushed. But I mean, at least he went out with his, best friend, I suppose.
They pushed the dog too?
Oh, Jesus Christ, I didn't even think about that. Maybe he was like holding the dog on the, we're not gonna think of the logistics of
Even
this.
if I'm holding a dog and someone pushes me, I'm gonna let go of the leash, or I'm not gonna be like, yeah, you're coming with me. Coward, taking your dog to die with you.
What are you doing? This is the worst thing you could possibly do.
Put your hand in there further.
It's pretty, I don't want him to grab my hand. What if he grabs my hand and takes a zoom?
Well, then we have proof of a ghost.
No, it's just gonna be you saying you dropped it, oh, you dropped it.
Put your hand all the way in there. There you go.
I don't like that.
Do it, Ryan. What are you, what?
I dropped the zoom.
You didn't drop it.
I know. Okay, to the man in the elevator, if you were pushed down this elevator, make a noise. If you fell down this elevator, make a noise. I'm just gonna ask you, maybe you'll say it, maybe I'll hear it later. What? Ah!
What the fuck is wrong with you? What?
It was this. Okay, it felt like someone doing this.
You've got a thing, man.
I swear.
Also,
this is why I didn't want to do it, because I knew you weren't gonna believe me. This is bullshit.
It's also very breezy here, so yeah, if you felt a breeze, it's highly likely that it was
If that was you,
a breeze.
please don't do that again.
We'd like some confirmation that it was you. Please do it again.
No, don't listen to him. Oh God, I hated that. Let's get the fuck away from this elevator shaft. There are reports of an apparition draped in a white doctor's coat being seen. One ghost hunter claims he saw the man disappear into a treatment room on the 4th floor. Also on this floor is a room that used to be the nurse's waiting room, a place where owner Tina Mattingly came across evidence of a full-bodied apparition.
We were on the 4th floor, me and another girl that comes here every year. She's the one that's always taking all the pictures and stuff. She has a really nice camera. And she was snapping pictures, and all of a sudden I hear her just going crazy, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm like, turn around, I'm like, what? She goes, you won't believe what I got.
She said she saw her standing right here. God, that'd be scary.
It's kind of grainy because I took a picture of her camera and she never could send me the original.
It does look like a full-bodied apparition.
That doesn't give you the chills.
Well, I mean...
On the 3rd floor, there are reports of a little boy named Timmy who likes to play with a blue rubber ball. All right, Timmy. My name's Ryan. This is my pal Shane.
Hi, Tim.
I hear you like balls. No, wait.
Will we do a retake on that one? That had to be intentional.
I swear to God, I'm not doing this on purpose.
I mean, this is a bit.
No,
right?
it's not a fucking bit. I'm sorry. I'm gonna bounce my ball. See, it's a bouncy ball. You like that? I like it. Wanna play? Oh, fuck.
You wanna play? Why you sound threatening? Like
I know.
You wanna play? Let's fucking play.
Timmy, I'm very scared, but if you could throw this ball back, I won't be as scared.
Oh my God, that's the biggest lie I've ever heard.
All right, Timmy, I'm throwing the ball down. You ready? All right. Oh my God. No. Dude, there's like... Oh, thank God. I think we're good.
It bounced a few extra times, though. Did you hear that?
Do you think it bounced? I thought it bounced a couple extra times, but I thought it was just my mind playing tricks on me.
It sounded like it stopped and then it bounced a little more.
Oh my God. No. Dude, there's like...
I don't know if that means ghost, but...
Let's walk down and find the ball.
That's the most serious I've ever seen. Let's walk down there and find the ball.
All right, Timmy, we're coming to get the ball. I don't know where it went. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Do you want the flashlight right now? Oh, there it is.
No way.
Oh!
Oh, no! Oh, no.
Ryan, the ball bounced.
No, the ball stopped here. How the fuck is that possible?
The ball stopped right here.
How is that possible? Oh, no.
They know. Ryan, they know.
Shut up, dude. You know this is fucking weird. Shut up.
Ball came right into this hallway.
I don't know what the odds are, Timmy, that my ball would land right next to my name down there that I didn't know existed. I'm gonna roll the ball one more time, Timmy. We're coming over, Timmy. Where did this thing go?
I think it's one of the...
Oh, it's right there in the middle.
Oh, perfect. Now that's a good throw, Ryan.
I mean, that's exactly how I threw it last time.
No, it wasn't exactly.
Yes, it was.
No.
It's like directly in the middle of the floor.
So you think because it's in the middle now, it was moved before?
Yeah, that's exactly what I think.
I don't know.
You don't think it's odd that it stopped in the middle and then before it went into the room by my name?
But it also stopped at the I love pot graffiti, so maybe this ghost just lives to blaze it.
It's rumored that patients whose infection spread to the brain, rendering them insane, were sent to the 5th floor. So let's make the journey upward. All right, this is the floor I'm really not stoked to go on. One room in particular on this floor that is arguably the most active and definitely the most controversial is room 502. It's the famous 502. And I guess this is where we're fucking sleeping because we're idiots. And this is what we like to do. Room 502 has a reputation due to the 2 suicides that supposedly occurred there. One story has it that in 1932, a nurse jumped to her death from the 5th floor patio near room 502, though others believe she was actually pushed. Right around here is probably where she jumped off. The second nurse to die here.
That's a hell of a fall.
That'll do it.
I mean, if she was 5 feet or taller, a good gust could just knock her over. Because even when I was looking over there.
The other suicide reportedly occurred 4 years earlier in 1928 when nurse Mary Hillenberg hung herself just outside room 502. Another theory is that Mary got pregnant by one of the doctors, and when he tried to perform an abortion, she died and the suicide was staged. So according to Tina, here's 502, they found the nurse hanging right around here. So if we were to sleep in this area,
Oh, that's right. That's right where it happened.
we would be sleeping right where it happened.
I could tell you some stories about the 5th floor.
Oh, sure, let's hear
I've
them.
had guys, people for security reasons, stay up on the 5th floor in tents. And they had things hit their tents all night long. You hear kids giggling and stuff.
Oh, that's fun. Cool. That's where we're gonna be sleeping.
So you have
Awesome.
fun with that. I've been here almost 16 years and I've never done it.
Well, that's good that we're gonna, really tee
Yeah,
that
you're
off.
gonna do something that I've never done.
Awesome.
Go big or go home. Well, this place, I realized, is different for a number of reasons. One, if we were at the Sally house, it's like, oh, run out the front door. Whereas here,
You're like trapped.
yeah, we're on the roof, more or less.
Oh my God, did you hear that?
No. What are you talking?
Are you serious? You didn't hear that?
I didn't hear anything.
I heard a whisper.
No, you didn't hear a whisper.
I swear to God, I heard a whisper.
There's a lot of wind moving around
Nope,
right now.
nope.
What did the whisper say?
I don't know.
Sure it wasn't just a car in the distance?
No, it sounded like someone saying something. Oh man, am I just freaking myself out again? You swear you didn't hear it? It made my hair stand up.
Just go to sleep.
No, I don't want to.
Hello? Oh, you can't even see me. It's so dark in here because I'm going to sleep.
Shane's next to me. He's asleep. Or I may have just woken him up, but I don't really care. Literally, like, 6 feet away from me, a lady hung herself.
Ryan, why are you doing this to yourself?
I asked myself that a lot, too. I don't understand why I do these things. Shane, how are you? I thought you were asleep.
I don't remember. I think I was asleep when you called Helen in the first place because I woke up and I heard a voice and I was like, what the fuck is going on?
You've been asleep for 45 minutes.
Oh, nice.
Oh, did Shane think I was a ghost?
Yeah.
Shane also thinks it was a coincidence that the ball landed under Ryan. What do you think?
I think Timmy wants to be your friend.
Well, that was a sleepless night. Let's go check in on Mr. Shane.
His location is cleared.
Well,
Time to go!
it's been real. You still have an opportunity here. Golden moment to seize glory. You hear that, ghost? That's Ryan Bergara 1, Waverly Hills Sanatorium 0. How does that feel?
You fucking wimps.
Is Waverly Hills Sanatorium haunted? It remains. Actually, do you think this place is haunted?
No.
I think it is. Due to the countless deaths that occurred within its walls, it's no surprise to me that many report this once busy hospital is haunted. There's the demon hole. Goodbye, body shoot. And although nothing we experienced tonight changes that reputation in my mind, whether or not Waverly Hills Sanatorium is definitively haunted will remain unsolved. This is it. The infamous Lizzie Borden house. You have any idea what happened in there?
No, I'm in the dark on this one.
Well, let's just say that some brutal murders happened in there that would lend itself to being haunted.
Okay, all right.
I'm also freezing, so as scary as it is in there, let's get inside.
Let's go in.
You can't go in through the front anymore. You have to go in through the back. You ready for this? So apparently this room is haunted by children.
Go get a toy.
How about like a baby?
Yeah, baby's good. Or a little baby in a ball.
We're on our way to the Winchester.
This is Ghost Town.
We're going to Mexico. The terrifying Island of the Dolls. It's going to be our showdown with the demon to end the trip.
What the fuck
fuck was that? Today on BuzzFeed Unsolved, we cover multiple cases and visit some of the most haunted, horrifying places in the world in an effort to answer some questions that I've always been curious about. Are ghosts and demons real? And if they are real, can they manipulate, harm, and perhaps even kill the living? Right now, we're in San Jose, California at Sacred Heart Church to talk to Father Gary Thomas. In 2005, Father Thomas was sent all the way to Rome to the Vatican to learn the rite of exorcism. A movie was actually based on his experiences in Rome, starring Anthony Hopkins. Basically, this dude's the real deal. We're gonna be happy that we talked to him and had his guidance when we go to some of these places.
Yeah, I think so. We better stock up on some knowledge here, otherwise we're gonna get murdered by ghosts.
You're gonna be thankful that we're meeting this guy later, I promise you. I promise you, you will regret that statement. First off, thank you for meeting with us, Father Thomas.
Sure.
I've read a lot about you.
Oh, thanks.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
How many exorcisms have you performed over your career?
Formal exorcisms I've probably performed 50 to 75 in 10 years.
What is the difference between a ghost and a demon?
A ghost would refer to a disembodied human soul. A demon is a preternatural angelic creature that rebelled against God.
It's not human.
No, it's not. Their life form is dying. They've been dying since the moment they rebelled. And so they are attracted to human beings for two reasons. One, because they are parasitic and they feed off our life form. But secondly, their goal is to take as many of us to hell with them as possible because they already know they've lost. I'm not trying to evangelize you.
I just got a shiver down my spine. So, can a ghost and a demon both possess or maybe influence the living?
Yes. And I've had those cases. Where are these homes you're going into?
One of them is nearby here, the Winchester Mystery House. Essentially, it's a haunted mansion. And then the next one is a haunted doll island in Mexico City. The last place is perhaps the scariest. It's a house infested with a demon. Do you have any advice for us going into some of these places where we may come into contact with not so nice spirits?
Are we still on camera?
Yeah.
Okay. If these places you're going claim to have spiritual attachments, I would do nothing to invite them into any kind of conversation. I would do nothing to invite them to somehow show themselves or taunt them in any way. You don't want to create a tie with them.
So treat it like a fine art museum.
I would.
Would it be possible for you to perhaps bless some water for something for me to carry?
Yes. Do you have something?
It's literally just a water bottle.
That's fine. I can bless it. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. In your kindness, hear our prayers and pour down the blessing into this element, so that the health obtained by calling upon your holy name may be made secure against all attack through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you for sitting down with us, and thank you for...
Was this helpful?
Fascinating.
This was super helpful, and I feel a lot better about what's about to happen.
Good.
Like, I just feel so comforted right now, and where we're about to go, it's going to be the exact opposite, so...
Yeah.
You're not worried about that at all?
No.
I'll give you a... Why are we doing this? I don't know if we got this on camera, but he told me, do not be afraid. I mean, I won't lie, I'm very scared, but
do not be afraid.
If anything happens, just do not be afraid. That's all you have to keep repeating. He said it a bunch of times in the Bible.
Jesus said chill.
Jesus said chill, yeah, sure. All right now we're on our way to the Winchester. Just met with the pastor.
Got our holy water, got our tips, our demon tips. This looks like Disneyland. I wouldn't be surprised if they got cotton candy in there.
Yuck it up, man, yuck it up. You're really enjoying this, but when the lights go off, this may be a little different.
This is beautiful.
You are full of shit if you do not feel strange right now.
No, I don't.
You're such a fucking shyster, dude. The hair on the back of my neck is standing over. This is crazy. Right now, we're sitting in the bedroom of Sarah Winchester, who built this mansion as the result of a terrible tragedy. Sarah actually passed away in this very room, in that bed right there.
Hell of a bed. I assure you, in like half of the places you've been, people have died there. People have probably died in the Chipotle we just ate at.
Let's just get into it.
Okay.
Sarah Pardee was born around 1840 to a very wealthy family In 1862, in her early 20s, Sarah married William Winchester, whose father, Oliver Winchester, founded the company that made the Winchester repeating rifle, a rifle that will become the ultimate weapon of death in the wars to come. In 1866, Sarah and William had their first child, Annie Pardee Winchester, but unfortunately, their daughter would die from a disease called marasmus only a month and a half later. In 1880, William's father, Oliver Winchester, passed away, leaving the company to William, but William contracted tuberculosis shortly after and tragically died in March 1881, only a few months after his father.
Oh.
That was the most disingenuous.
That was real.
Okay. Now that we've laid down the facts, let's get into the legend. William's death was almost unbearable for Sarah, who, according to legend, reached out to spiritualists and mediums in Boston to help her understand the deaths of her daughter and husband. Many believe that it was one fateful visit to a particular medium that would change her life. The medium told Sarah that her family was being haunted by the spirits of those killed by the Winchester rifle, and that her family members' deaths were retribution. The medium said Sarah's family was cursed, and that the only way to lift the curse was to move west and build a house, and never stop building.
Well, I think I know the end of this story.
The good spirits would guide her on what to build, and if she continued building, she could live forever. But if she stopped, the evil spirits that were victims of the Winchester rifle would haunt Sarah forever.
If you can live forever, great. But if you have to continue to build a house that entire time, unless you're having fun, which I don't think she was.
Well, she wasn't like putting on a hard hat and like physically making the house herself. She was delegating.
Well, then that's why she didn't live forever, because she found a loophole.
I won't argue that your logic is flawed. I just hate it because it's detrimental to my argument.
It's fine.
Needless to say, Sarah followed the medium's advice and moved west, where she built an 8-room farmhouse in San Jose. It is estimated that 500 to 600 rooms were built, but due to her constant remodeling, only 161 rooms remain, one of which was newly discovered in October 2016.
You think the ghost just checked in every like 3 to 5 years?
Check
like,
your time
we
card.
should see if she's still building that, otherwise we gotta kill her.
However, what makes this mansion famous isn't the size or amount of rooms. It's the odd and peculiar nature in which they were constructed. It was built this way in an effort to confuse the evil spirits that were haunting and following Sarah. The walkways are narrow and twist and turn around the mansion. There are stairs that lead to the ceiling and doors that open into brick walls. And in one instance, a door known as the door to nowhere that opens to a sheer drop on the outside of the house from the second floor. I can't imagine a ghost would get foiled into falling into these bushes down here, but the thought is nice. All right, now that we've established the legend, let's discuss some possible alternate theories as to why Sarah built the way she did.
Oh.
One theory that explains some unfinished aspects of the house is Sarah's arthritis that affected her late in her life. One area called the Hall of Fires is a hallway lined with fireplaces, its purpose to perhaps aid Sarah's arthritis. This could provide a reason for an unfinished staircase, as she possibly saw no reason to complete it. But I struggle to see how this explains a door to nowhere.
Nobody is building a house like this because they have arthritis.
I'm saying this
is not a
theory. I'm just stating the
No
theories.
one says, oh, my knuckles feel a little funny. I'm going to build a house with 500 rooms.
I hear you, man. I agree with you. I'm just saying this is a theory that people believe, and I'm relaying the theory.
Those people are idiots.
I mean, you know what the doctor says. Nothing's better for arthritis than a 2-story drop to the floor down below, right?
Right, yeah.
Another theory is that Sarah needed a change of scenery and continued to build to keep her mind occupied and off her grief.
Now that, yeah.
So
maybe she just wasn't very good at planning.
And she did that for her entire life.
Yeah, for her entire life.
Okay. Just why
Hey, we all need hobbies.
Another theory comes from historian Mary Jo Ignafo, who investigated Sarah Winchester. Ignafo believes Sarah was devoted to building because she was interested in architecture. Ignafo reports that Sarah's own letters reveal that construction stopped at months at a time, despite what legend would suggest. Ignafo also explains the unfinished state of rooms as the result of an earthquake in 1906 that caused damage to the house, theorizing that Sarah simply shut down that area of the house rather than attempting repairs. And finally, she also could not find evidence that Sarah communicated with spirits. Although, I will say, I can't imagine communicating with spirits produces any kind of receipt.
No, nobody has evidence of that.
Okay, I'm just saying, I call bullshit on that.
I agree with your calling of bullshit.
Good, I'm glad we agree on something for once.
Yeah, we've done it.
Okay, we've done it, we've done it. Let's go home now. But, enough conjecture. Let's look at some of the spiritually active areas of this very unsettling house. Oh, this room looks like a nightmare. That's fun.
There's a few rooms in this house that strike me as, okay, this is ghost town. This could be it. The way the shadows play with your mind.
Well, I didn't see something. I heard something. I heard a noise right up there. It came from up there.
Probably bats.
That's also a concern. I mean, but
Bats are no.
this fucking guy. One room that is particularly important is a room called the Blue Room, or as some know it, the Seance Room. A room where Sarah would allegedly communicate with the good spirits on a nightly basis for building guidance. The room has 3 entrances and one door that is like a trap door dropping into the kitchen down below. And not surprisingly, this is one of the most active rooms in the house, with reports of organ music being heard, cold spots, and people experiencing dizziness.
What is this thing doing? It's making noises.
What is... I just took out a brand new battery. I just took off the plastic from it and put it in, and it drained it all the way to 0.
This is highly unusual. I've never seen it do this before.
I'm just gonna ignore you and fix the issue.
I'm gonna lock myself in here with a ghost. I turned my flashlight off. This is horrifying. I bet Ryan wouldn't do this.
Oh, fucking come on, man. God damn it. I knew he was gonna do that. It still scared me. Fuck you. The house as a whole has reports of hearing people breathing, footsteps, hearing screws being unscrewed and dropped to the floor, full-body apparitions of servants, with the most famous spirit being Sarah herself, often seen in her bedroom. Naturally, one of the creepiest and most active places in the entire house is the basement, where guests and workers often claim to see the ghost of a caretaker named Clyde pushing a wheelbarrow. Why I'm walking in here by my fucking self is beyond me. Fuck, I'm so scared. Man. Alright, apparently this is where a recurring ghost is seen.
What are you? Hey man, calm down.
You piece of shit, Shane.
My mic went out, and then I was looking for you.
He's crouching in here like some kind of cave creature.
And then all I did was I went. I was just coming
so
to say hello to you.
You're looking for me while grunting like a zombie. You almost scared me to death. I'm never gonna forgive you for that. Hope you're fucking proud of yourself.
I thought you saw me.
Bullshit, you thought I saw you.
I really didn't think it was gonna work.
Sarah seemingly lived a life of solitude. She reportedly wore a dark veil at almost all times to mask her appearance. And in 1922, Sarah died at the age of 83. In the end, the questions remain. Was this just the result of a woman filled with grief? Or were the evil spirits that haunted Sarah Winchester so horrifying that they drove her and perhaps possessed her to build into her death?
She probably believed that spirits did say this to her. Whether or not that's a thing that actually happened, you know.
So you're saying it's more along the lines of grief that produced perhaps.
I mean, she went through some pretty harrowing stuff.
Let me just ask you straight out, do you believe ghosts are real right now?
No.
Why do you not believe ghosts are real?
I've never seen one.
Okay, I mean, there's a lot of things that you can't see that you are real, I feel like.
What can't I see?
You can't see gravity, that's real.
Yeah, I can drop an apple.
Fuck. I guess you'll just never believe me until
Look,
something happens.
hey, this whole entire trip, I'm ready. Hey, ghosts, don't tussle my hair.
I would do nothing to invite them to somehow show themselves or taunt them in any way.
Give me a little purple nurple or something. Let's have some fun. Here I am.
Regardless, the real reason behind the creation of the Winchester Mystery House will remain unsolved.
I'm so proud of her for doing this, by the way. It's really something.
You're the worst.
No, I'm genuinely, like, this is neat.
If I have to spend one more moment sitting in this chair looking at that silly face, I think I may murder you myself. All right, we're getting out of here.
Okay.
Yeah, let's leave this house. Checking out San Jose.
Onward.
Onward to Mexico.
Yeah, why not?
So we're going to Mexico, so that's pretty cool. We don't have to go to our next horrible place until tomorrow, so I think we're gonna enjoy the city a little bit tonight.
All right.
I don't know if this is a sign, but I'm in the bathroom at this bar, and this mirror literally has blood dripping from it. But I'm gonna go order another beer, so we're good.
Salud.
We're getting a drink in Mexico, and we ran into the Grim from Harry Potter. This is crazy. Mexico City is such a nice city.
Yeah, it is.
Shame we're on our way to a nightmare.
You're on your way to a nightmare. I'm on my way to a nice retreat.
Okay, we'll see. Right now we are, we're being carted over to the dock.
We were just sort of put on here. I don't know.
I guess that's how easy it is to trick us. Hey, get on! Okay. Oh, fuck. That was almost a two-bike trolley collision right there. So, I'm actually not quite sure where we are right now.
No, it's fine. You just go with the flow, Ryan.
That's what people usually say on their way to their death. So we survived our little trolley over here. We're joined by Pepe from BuzzFeed Mexico.
Hola, amigos.
Right now we're on the outskirts of Mexico City in the ancient Aztec canals of Xochimilco, heading to our next location, the terrifying Island of the Dolls. This is a mistake. Oh yeah, there's also a thunderstorm about to roll in, so that's fun. But he looks fine. Look at the kid's fine. And now I feel like a big weenie.
You are a big weenie.
It's been said that people don't like these canals due to the bad energy. Those who navigate the canals claim the dolls lured them to the island. One Trajanera operator claims that he was even possessed for multiple days when approaching the island. This is the beginning of a horror movie right now. We're here, and it's raining. Lovely. Shall we?
Yep.
You go. You will go first.
Oh, I go first? All right. Okay. It's an ominous cloud in the sky. Some very atmospheric thunder.
Well, this seems all horrible and awful in general.
And this, so, wow. Someone
Speechless.
committed their life to this.
Oh, there's spiders everywhere, so that's nice.
See, I'm more concerned about the spiders than the ghosts.
Is that right?
Yeah.
This island is not as pleasant at night.
So Pepe, you're telling me you don't come here every weekend?
Yeah, where's Pepe?
No, this is not one of my favorite places.
In the 1950s in Mexico, Don Julian Santana Barrera was persecuted for being overzealous in his religious beliefs. After that, for reasons unclear, Julian abandoned his wife and child and moved to the island we're at tonight in the Xochimilco canals in the outskirts of Mexico City. The island we're sitting on is a chinampa, a man-made floating garden engineered by the Aztecs centuries ago.
Dope. I'm sure they'd be thrilled with what it's become.
Yeah, you think this is what they had in mind?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, monkey. Oh,
monkey?
Okay. No, I thought I got bit in the ass cheeks by a spider. There's a lot of spiders here.
They're huge.
Julian lived on this island in isolation, and the story goes that he discovered the body of a young girl off the shore of the island. Julian was reportedly overcome with grief due to the fact that he could not save this little girl. Legend has it that shortly after her body emerged, a doll appeared where her body was. I don't even know how deep this water is. Like if someone were to drown in this, I feel like it looks like it's shallow, but I guess it's deceiving.
Ah, this place is creepy.
Yep.
Oh, look, a teddy bear. Oh, fuck, a spider.
Julian thought the doll probably belonged to the girl, and he hung it up on a tree on the island. His reasons for doing this vary depending on who is telling the story. Some believe he did this to honor the little girl's spirit. Others believe he did this to appease the spirit and protect himself and the island. Another variation is that Julian hung the doll to protect the girl's spirit from demons in the afterlife. Whatever the reason is, the girl's existence has never been officially confirmed.
Okay. Wait, the dead girl wasn't
The dead girl was not confirmed.
Well, what happened to her body?
I don't know. This is a long time ago.
What did he do with it?
I don't know. We're in the canals of Mexico. This is like, I don't know how things work. Is that how things
It was
work?
the 1950s.
Probably spiders hate her.
However, Julian didn't stop at one doll. Instead, he began to amass perhaps the creepiest collection in the history of collections. Perhaps he felt the more dolls he hung up, the more protected he would be from the spirit.
He'd get along well with old Sarah Winchester.
One could say that.
He has a lifelong mission to appease the ghosts.
I think it's more a protection thing. He just doesn't want to die.
He is wearing a Kevlar vest in that case.
He would hunt for the lost dolls from the canals and trash near the island, stringing them up in whatever dilapidated condition he found them. And as his island grew, so did the island's reputation, drawing new visitors that would trade dolls for produce grown on the island, consequently creating an extraordinarily bizarre barter system.
He probably fucks the dolls. Can I say that?
Oh, I thought you would have like some respect for this place, but
Nope, went in straight with he fucks the dolls.
yeah, I'm with Pepe on this.
This is getting way off track.
Sorry, okay.
The compulsion to collect and hang these dolls was so extreme that those close to him believed he was driven by an unseen force that changed him forever. A force that many believe was the spirit of the young girl, haunting or perhaps possessing him to hang the dolls for 50 straight years in isolation on this island. Though he initially seemed to hang the dolls out of respect and a desire for protection, close friends claim that Julian eventually began to believe the dolls were possessed.
Anytime I get even remotely spooked, I just look to the monkey with the sunglasses. Let's get a great shot of that thing.
Those 50 years bring us to 2001, when the collecting of dolls came to an abrupt end. Julian's nephew, Anastasio, came to the island to help Julian plant pumpkins. According to Anastasio, he left to work on the garden, and when he returned, he discovered the body of his uncle floating in the canal. What's notably chilling is the fact that Julian's body was found drowned in the same spot the girl was found.
This is where it went down. This is where he drowned, right here.
Cool.
Anastasio, who moved to the island after Julian's death, claims the dolls, quote, move their heads and whisper to each other, end quote.
They've got dolls that piss themselves.
I mean, do you think these dolls look like they have remotely any kind of technological capability?
There was a Mickey Mouse over there with a little pull string.
Did it work?
I don't know, I didn't touch it.
I feel like you touched it.
Hi, kids! I did touch it. Oh, God.
Who do you think haunts this island?
¿Quién cree usted que esté como en la isla?
Pues la muchacha que se ahoga en 1950 porque en las noches se escuchan voces de mujer. Y mi tío cuando estaba en vida caminaba con sus tenis y su bastoncito, ahora se escucha igual.
Is that a bed?
Is that a guy?
Wait, what?
Should we poke it with a stick?
How about you, Shane? You poke it with a stick.
Well, there's no one there. Is this a dream come true for you, Ryan?
I can't say that.
Don Julian Santana Barrera was 80 at the time of his death. Some people think that the dolls, or the spirits that inhabit them, might have killed Julian.
Sure. If that's what it's gonna take to get us out of here, then yes, I believe in all of this. Put it on Wikipedia and let's leave.
But to finish this off, let's visit the area that has the most hidden activity on the island. It's a shrine that Julian built inside a shed for his favorite dolls, including the original doll that Julian found all those years ago.
This is the shed where he kept his shrine. And there's candles inside, great. I did bring a little doll of my own. This seems like a good spot to leave it, right? Or should I put it in the lap of the original?
This is a fucking nightmare.
Oh, man. There's the original right here.
What? Where?
The one that looks...
Oh, the fuck?
What the fuck was that? Holy shit balls. I was just about to put the offering on the original doll and then...
Holy shit, look at the spider coming out of it.
Oh my god.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, these are fucking huge. Let's go.
This is also his favorite doll right here.
Okay, I don't care what his favorite... Fuck that. Let's go.
There's cats right there. Oh, fuck me. There are spiders everywhere.
Look at the size of that thing.
I'm gonna go under.
Okay. We've had our fun.
We're leaving this island. Where's Pepe?
I'm over here. Ah, fuck. Spiders.
No, this is the island of spiders, not the dolls. Oh, they're everywhere. Ah, Jesus Christ. Then you just run into possessed dolls? Toodaloo, Julian. Can't say it was pleasurable. Okay.
demon was remembered as a nice and welcoming man, but the mystery of his eventual death remains. Was it the result of his own compulsive behavior? Or was it the result of the spirit that he claimed haunted him for the last 50+ years of his life? For now, and perhaps forever, the case remains unsolved.
I like spiders. I think spiders are good. I think they're a great little insect or arachnid. But fuck everything about that place. I would love to bring Father Thomas to this island.
I don't think Father Thomas would be that down.
I don't think he would. What makes you think that?
Oh, because I don't know if you could exorcise spiders away.
Yeah.
All right, on the way to Kansas. It's gonna be our showdown with the demon to end the trip.
We've defeated the spiders.
Killed all the spiders.
We set that whole island on fire.
We survived the spirits of Winchester. I got my holy water ready. I'm ready for this showdown.
I don't think you are, frankly.
Right now we're on our way to a house widely considered to be infested with a demon that tortured a young family. The grand finale. We're going to the Sally house.
Everyone thinks feeling energy is bullshit, but you don't feel strange at all? Not even a little bit?
No, not really. Oh shit, what up? I'm taking a selfie with some demons, yo! Hell yeah, what? Great. That'll be good. I'm gonna snap that. What's
You're insufferable. I'm just working myself up to it, you know.
Sure. Are you alright, man? Get in there.
Yeah, I know. I'm just gonna get the fucking holy water.
Okay. Okay.
Joke on how you want. And don't ask me for some later.
I won't. All they need is some WD-40, and that will... Sure. You're really selling it, huh? Little baby. Man, this is nice. You know what a place like this would cost in Los Angeles? There's an arm and a leg.
Let's just tell the story of this house. How about that?
Ryan, don't look over here. There's a little stuffed animal. Don't want to...
Right now, we're sitting in the living room of the Sally house. Our sleeping bags are right there because we foolishly plan on sleeping here for some stupid reason. I've lived my life by one adage, and that's don't fuck with demons.
It's an adventure. I just love seeing you squirm.
Let's just get into why this house is.
Tell your spooky story.
Located at 508 North 2nd Street in Atchison, Kansas, the Sally house is the ultimate haunted house and widely considered to be one of the most haunted places in America. Built between 1867 and 1871, this house has had 3 deaths inside its walls. Michael Finney in 1872, William True in 1918, and Agnes True in 1939. But while the deaths have perhaps added to the house's ghostly inhabitants, the real evil comes from something much different.
All right, I think he's here. So we call the paranormal investigator over.
Sure.
Hey. How's it going, man? Ryan.
Eric Insbrenner.
Shane.
Nice to meet you.
I think this is all bullshit.
Half of it is. I brought a little bit.
I'm not gonna communicate with shit.
I would do nothing to invite them into any kind of conversation.
We are.
You're already doing it.
I'll be standing in the background.
While multiple residents of the Sally house have experienced paranormal activity, it wasn't until the 1990s when Deborah and Tony Pickman moved in that the activity was fully realized. What follows is based on their first-hand account of what started as a small haunting and later developed into a living nightmare. Deborah and Tony Pickman moved in on December 31st, 1992. The haunting started small. Lights in their house would dim. Their dog would bark incessantly at the entrance to the nursery, and their newborn baby would wake up every hour, quote, as if someone was playing with him, end quote. The Pickman's neighbor could see the nursery window from her house and eventually asked Deborah why she kept the light on in the nursery all night long with the baby sleeping in there. This question came as an icy shock to Deborah, who always turned the light off.
Oh.
It was a little weird, right?
Yeah.
All right. Anyways.
Things got especially weird on July 14th, 1993, when Deborah, Tony, and her sister Karen discovered all the stuffed animals in the nursery organized into a neat circle back to back in the middle of the room on the floor. The 3 of them figured it was one of them playing a practical joke, so they put the animals back, turned off the light, and went downstairs. To their horror, when they returned, not only was the light on, but a bear was knocked off its chair and laying on its back on the ground.
We better get out of this house. Somebody knocked our little bear out of his little wicker chair.
You're telling me you wouldn't be unnerved by going upstairs and seeing a bunch of stuffed animals organized into a little cult circle when no one did it?
So I don't know.
After that, like anybody would, they packed up some stuff, took their baby, and left the house to stay with Tony's parents.
Did they bring the bear?
I don't believe they brought the bear. I mean, I can't imagine they would bring the bear.
While they were leaving the house, Tony felt a sharp sting in his back. When they lifted up his shirt, they discovered 3 long scratches. Tony would continue to get viciously scratched as time went on, and in one instance, a scratch manifested while on video. The Pickmans eventually would turn to a psychic, who picked up on a presence named Sally.
Sally, if you're here, or any spirit that's here, let's communicate. Here's a flashlight. If you can turn the flashlight on and let us know you're here, that'd be great.
It's a little monkey. We saw one of those on the island of the haunted dolls.
According to Deborah Pickman, on the morning of October 31st, 1993, Tony went to grab a glass of orange juice in the kitchen. When he turned around, he saw a little girl in early 1900s clothing. Shortly after, he sketched what he saw for Deborah.
All right, we are in the kitchen.
Please turn the light on for us.
Please don't do it.
Demon?
Stop calling it that.
Demon.
Stop it, stop talking to it.
No, I just want to talk to the demons. We met a pal named Father Thomas. He told us not to talk to you, but I think you guys are swell.
I would do nothing to invite them to somehow show themselves or taunt them in any way.
If you like the guy staying here, turn the light on.
You're fucking crazy, Shane.
If you don't like us, turn it on.
Please don't turn it on. Please don't.
What the fuck? Oh, shit.
No! Where's my holy water?
Where's my holy water? If you actually don't like us, please just turn it on. I don't think they have the power to turn it back on again, frankly. I really think they don't. Ryan.
Are you fucking kidding me? What the?
Keep in mind, we have to spend the night here.
Please turn the light off for us, spirits.
Don't you fucking do it.
Turn it all the way off. Thank you. Oh.
Fuck, don't. Oh my God. What
Please try.
Oh my God. You should have never talked to it, dude.
That's a car going by. It's okay.
No, that's the fucking flashlight rolling in the background.
Look, it's coming back.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's a flashlight. It rolls. It's cylindrical.
But it shouldn't roll back and forth like
what?
that.
You should have never talked to it, dude. What is wrong with you?
In what may be a curious coincidence, a former resident who lived in the house shortly before the Pickmans said, quote, "My daughter was 5 at the time. She had an imaginary friend, Sally. I would scold her for something and she would come back and tell me, I didn't do that, Sally did it. Or Sally told me to do it." When shown Tony Pickman's drawing 11 years after they moved out of the house, the daughter identified it as her imaginary friend from her childhood.
Do not be afraid, do not be afraid, do not be afraid, do not be afraid, do not be afraid.
Do not be afraid.
Hey, just sit down. It's fine. Okay, well, don't hurt your...
Oh, fuck, okay.
I mean, sure, we don't know how to explain that. Maybe it's just, you know, flashlights are funny like that.
The Pickmans also reported fires that would start on their own. In fact, 2 former residents before the Pickmans reported fires starting inexplicably in the room that would eventually become the Pickmans' nursery. The activity continued to escalate beyond fires, however. A lamp was thrown at Tony's mother. Tony reported hearing scratching behind his bed. Quote, "almost like you had an animal digging to get out of the wall," end quote. And in one instance, Sally appeared in the room and grabbed Tony's wrist, burning dark red finger marks into his arm. At this point, Tony believed, quote, "we're dealing with something way beyond a little girl," end quote, and begged to leave the house. Yet Deborah, who at this point never witnessed anything alarming, didn't share the same desire.
This was the 90s. People had like video recorders, you know.
I mean, the scratches all happen on camera, but here's the thing. This is what I fucking love about like paranormal evidence. People are always clamoring for it, right? Like, where's the evidence? And then when the evidence finally is there, it's like, fake.
Things eventually went beyond physical terror, however. Here's another quote from Tony. quote, "It got to the point where when I was in the house, I could not think any happy thought. It was just strictly I wanted to hurt her. I was a whole different person. That something could come inside me and make me capable of doing that, it tears me up. As much as I hate to say it, I'd planned on slitting her throat."
Jesus Christ! If you slit my throat tonight, I'm gonna have a hard time forgiving you for that.
Would you haunt me for the rest of my life?
No, because I'll be dead.
Well,
Ghosts
then-
aren't real.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
In 1994, the Pickmans finally moved out of the house. But at this point, you're probably wondering, who is Sally? From what I could find, records show that a Sally Isabel Hall did indeed live in the house in 1905, but she was actually a 34-year-old black woman.
Wait. What?
Hear me out here.
Okay.
While this may seem damning at first, the implications of this are actually quite horrifying. If there was, in fact, never a girl named Sally who lived here, then who or what was this alleged spirit presenting itself as a little girl named Sally? That question led me to this piece of research. Sometimes, inhuman presences or demons will allegedly present themselves as humans that are physically flawed. Or in some cases, perhaps like this one, they may appear as children.
That demon's racist. He was like, oh, there was a black lady who lived here? Wait a minute. No, I can't haunt with that.
Well, demons...
What about a little white girl? A little blonde one. I'll give her pigtails.
Demons don't...
Fuck that demon. He's whitewashing the history of this house. He's exactly what's wrong with Hollywood.
Demons don't present themselves as adults. That's what I was saying. They present themselves as
Ever?
No.
This
An
sounds-
entity, like an entity that's not human, it needs energy. It needs souls to feed off of. So if you need that, you wouldn't immediately come out with the horns. You come out with the little girl. That makes sense to me.
Whatever. Demon's racist. I don't respect this demon.
But what really suggests the presence of a demon is something that occurred in the basement well after the Pickmans left the house. A female tenant, her husband, and their children moved into the house and reported no paranormal activity. But on a surprise visit from landlord Les Smith, he allegedly discovered something terrifying in the basement. A large pentagram on the floor, an altar, a large black kettle, and a black robe.
A pointy hat, a broomstick.
Hey, man.
3 newts,
This is
a
what he
lizard tongue, eyeballs.
That's what he found.
Many believe that this female tenant was a Satan worshiper, performing sacrificial rituals. To this day, there's a black mark on the floor where the alleged rituals took place. Consequently, many believe the demon lives in this basement, specifically in the hole in the back wall, which brings me back to something Father Thomas told us about demons.
I was reading about something called infestation, where like a demon will just take hold of a house.
So if that family was involved in a satanic cult and they were doing other kinds of rituals and spells that are part of the cult, it would not at all surprise me if there was something demonic still attached, because that's